Dover, Delaware? Or the Delmarva Peninsula? Have you? Have you ever been there? That's where I was this morning. That's where I was the past couple of days. I was on a trip to the Delmarva Peninsula. I left from Dover, Delaware this morning. And one of the highlights of the trip was that we almost drove onto an Air Force base accidentally. And you know that? We almost drove onto an Air Force base. And it was, see, we were driving around Dover, and we almost, now see, you're never supposed to drive onto an Air Force base, ever. But where we stopped for lodging, there's like a road with a big fence in front of it with stop signs on it, which is actually not the proper use of a stop sign, but that's a whole other story. And it was late at night, and when we got supper and tried going back to the motel, we couldn't find it. Couldn't find the motel. So we ended up on a side road, and the GPS told us to drive around in circles. So we did, and we almost ended up on an Air Force base. And that wouldn't have gone over too well now. But this was a pretty good trip. Of course, it was a lot like some of the other trips like this. You know, the reason I went to the Delmarva Peninsula is because this was next in the hopper. Not the hooper, but the hopper. Not the hooper like that old guy on Sesame Street who used to say, "It's hoopa, hoopa, big bird." You remember that guy? You remember that guy? But so that's what it was like. But now see, a lot of interesting things happen on this trip. I mean, nothing really major like some of the other ones. But on this one, like every time we'd stop at a public restroom, like today. Today we stopped at on the way back, we stopped at a public restroom, and we noticed that somebody had peed all over the toilet seat. It was funny. I went to the bathroom, and this was at I think it was an Exxon station in Fairmont, West Virginia, on the way home. I stopped in there, and because I had to drain the main vein, went to the restroom, and there was pee all over the toilet seat. And there was something on the ground that looked like somebody stepped in poop and walked all over the floor in front of the toilet and left shoe prints and poop. So I had to kind of stand back when I was using the toilet. But it was that's how it worked out. It was I mean, it was all over the seat. And you know, and the funny thing is that in the bathroom, for some reason, I don't know why it was like this, but the bathroom actually had you know how like in hotels and a lot of places like that, maybe even some gas stations and stores, there's like a whole shelf full of tourist pamphlets of like local tourist attractions and stuff. Little pamphlets, little shiny pamphlets usually. And there was a shelf like that in the bathroom at this gas station. So, and I just could not believe, I bet there's at least one plopping per day because of that. I bet every day somebody takes a whole armload of those pamphlets and puts them in the toilet. I bet that happens at least once a day. Now, I didn't do it. I didn't do it this time because I didn't have a reason. I didn't have proper and just cause. But I mean, it would be a miracle if it didn't. But most of all, the big point though, one of the big points is that I managed to, because of this trip, I've now been to every county in Delaware at some point in my life. Did you know that? I've now been to not all on this trip, of course, but at some point in my life, I've been to every county in the state of Delaware. Other than the District of Columbia, that's the first state that I finished off like that. Finished off Delaware. I've got 2 states down and 49 to go. Finished off Delaware. Delaware. Finished it off. I finished it off. You didn't. Boop, boop, boop. But I've got 49 states to go. Unless they make Guam a state too. In which case I'll be screwed because they don't have 50. And I don't like flying anyway. So I probably wouldn't get Hawaii. So I was pretty much out of luck anyway. But at least I got Delaware, 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 Delaware. At least I got Delaware. Been to every county in the first state to ratify the Constitution of this fine land. And I would bet that you haven't been to every county in the state of Delaware, unless you're from Delaware or Eastern Maryland. But then again, I suppose it's possible. Now I've been to Delaware, every county in the state. Now what I could be doing now, I took like a bunch of pictures and a couple of videos. I could be updating my county collecting log. I could be doing that now, but where's the heart? I mean, the real appeal of these trips is doing mischievous things and finding weird things and doing things like almost driving onto an Air Force base without permission in the dark. Well, they wouldn't have liked that, but I almost did it. And it wasn't even deliberate. Did you know that? That wasn't deliberate. I almost drove onto Dover Air Force Base. And it wasn't even intentional. So, maybe they should sign the place better, you know? Maybe they should put up signs saying, don't go here, don't go here. But I was on like a real isolated road where I almost ended up there. I was even in Virginia Beach and I saw the no cussing signs again. So that's what I've been doing the past few days. Now, in the upcoming year, in fact, in the next few months, I might get a better employment. Maybe I'll even get my old job back so I can afford to do this stuff more. Now, granted, I'll have a lot less time, but I'll have a lot more money. And won't that be fun? Because I can't just keep doing this forever because the money runs out. So that's so once again, I also need to check the latest news because I haven't been able to do that yet. I didn't see much news while I was going. Because I did see the Christine O'Donnell investigation. I saw a little bit about that, but now it's New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year, everybody. Brand new year ahead, so I'm going to make a resolution to do the same things I've been doing the past few years, only even better. So that's my resolution